Hey, I'm Jonah, owner-operator of Dull Boy Blades, and this is the 2025 Knife Maker Gift Guide. This is a gift guide for problem solvers, for outdoor lovers, and for people who appreciate quality gear. There's going to be a bunch, we're going to go through a bunch of stuff. A lot of it's just stuff that I like that you may find useful, shopping for guys in your life. And then at the end, we're going to have a little bit for the ladies that I've found that my wife really enjoys. But this video is going to be longer just because we have so much to get through. I'm going to put timestamps for everything. That's going to be my first time doing that, so I apologize if I don't do it well. But the idea of this video is it's a bunch of ideas for you, and I want you to skip ahead. If I'm talking about something that you're not interested in, go to the next section. And we're going to cover a bunch of things ranging in price. But I tried to pick a bunch of items, and I'm going to start with a lot of the items that are more affordable, that are totally reasonable to give as gifts. And then some of these things, range in the hundreds of dollars that, probably not going to be gifts, but they're great ideas for, maybe if you get some cash at the end of Christmas and you want to buy something for yourself, for your kit. So yeah, hopefully you get some value from this. I'm going to break down the sections. So we're going to go through, first we're going to go through some EDC gear, some stuff I like to carry on or near me. Then we're going to go through tools, which is like kind of stuff that I like to have around the shop, but aren't necessarily like on your person. And then we're going to go through knives, and then flashlights, then camping, packs/bags, and then some clothes. That's actually going to be kind of short. And then we're going to cover some stuff for the ladies. And at the very end, we're going to go over some games that I think are really fun for the whole family. So let's jump right in with EDC gear. So starting off really simple and inexpensive. This is some hockey tape or lacrosse tape. This is really useful. I find it useful in the shop too if I get cut. Like a Band-Aid tends to fall off, especially in the summer. I get really sweaty. So if I get cut, I'll just wrap it in lacrosse tape. That works super well. This is inexpensive, but works for a lot of things. I don't know if you can see right here, my phone is propped up on a little makeshift cardboard thing, and I just made this out of cardboard and stuck it together with hockey tape. That's really nice. Okay, kind of in the same vein, we have, I had one of these a long time ago. I don't have one personally. This is somebody's gift in my family. So if you're watching this and you're in my family, I'm sorry. There's going to be some spoilers in this video. So maybe watch it after Christmas. But this is some micro cordage. It's real thin cordage. It's about that size. So real thin. But the spool has a cutter on it. So it's really cool for you to throw in like a bag or in your car and just to have some, because a lot of times you don't need full 550 cord. You just need something, to tie something down, or I think this works really well for like making a static line. If you're carrying tools on a static line, this is a really thin cordage that's really good for that. The next is in the same vein. This is just the bigger version of it. So it's a 550 cord spool. This comes, they come in a bunch of different colors. This is like the high vis version, which I think is cool. It has that clear packaging, but it also has a cutter. There's also a little clip on the back. I haven't used these yet, but I have used the micro cordage before, and I saw this year, and I was like, that's a great idea. So there's a million uses for paracord, and that's a great thing to have on you if you're out and about, or even if you're home. Like, it's kind of thing that you can't, there's a million uses for it. Okay, moving on, we have some of our stuff. So these are Ravenclaws. So these are some 3D printed tools. So we have Ravenclaws, which are, it's like a KNUCK, but it also will hold open a book for you. So it's like a, if you're reading, you can put your finger right there like that and hold your book open. So if you're in a coffee shop and you like to read a book, but you still want to have something that's like in your hand, ready to go. That's a fun little gift. Really inexpensive. And then we have our KNUCKs, which are also 3D printed, non-metallic, just a little, little punch tool. They're fun. They come in a bunch of different colors, non-metallic, so they get a lot of places. It's hit or miss with these if they can get through TSA. I've heard of people you know, flying a bunch of times with them with no problem. And then I've heard people like, yeah, they confiscated the one on my keychain that was pink. So who knows on that. And then our last 3D printed tool is our FANG, which is, oh, this one you see a little better. This is the gold version. This one comes in a bunch of different colors. Again, 3D printed, but has a bit more of a point than the other ones. So you can like shotgun a beer with this, but it's small and thin, so you can throw it in a pocket, put it in your sock. That's a great way to get it places that you're not supposed to, because most places aren't patting you down at that level. But it's just a fun little inexpensive thing that you can give somebody and they can hold in their hand. That's the FANG. And then we have, so quickly kind of in that vein of this, so those are all like 15 bucks, you know, max. These get a little more expensive. These are our G10 knives, but are less expensive than our steel knives. These are all about $90, but made out of G10, non-metallic, but have a much gnarlier tip on them. So that's the FANG in the G10 version. This is the gut plug. Probably our most popular, our mini beekeeper. So this is like the same size as the steel knife, but G10 version. Real big. This is a howler. It's kind of a fun one. You know, a little bit less easy to conceal, but I mean, for certain applications, that's just a fun knife. You can use it as a letter opener or anything. And then finally, we have the Urchin, which is real small, little G10 knife. The G10 knives are great for like somebody who's not into knives necessarily, but is kind of thinking about self-defense. You know, is going to the gym, going out for a run, and they want to have something on them. These are a great option for that because they're really lightweight, but they still pack a punch. And you know, there's nothing to rust on them. So that's our G10 knives. Real quick, a lot of this stuff, like some of this stuff isn't in stock currently. This is some of the stuff that we make. So this is just kind of like ideas for the future, but we also have gift cards available. When this video posts, there'll be gift cards available in different price ranges. So if you have some of these ideas in mind for somebody in your life, but it's not in stock, you can get them a gift card and they can get them when they come in stock. You know, I would like to have all this stuff in stock, but as usual, I'm behind. So some of it's not in stock. Okay, those are our G10 knives. Oh, G10 knives come in a box like this. Kind of cool too. If you want something that has a little flair to it, kind of fun to open on Christmas Day. That's what the G10 knives come in. We do have mini beekeepers in stock as of right now, and hopefully I'll have some fangs and urchins by the time this video posts. Okay, next one for EDC item is another thing that we make. It's the whole enchilada knife sharpener. So again, kind of a fun packaging. There's some kind of jokes in here. Comes with a little zine that shows you how to use it. And then on the back of the zine, there's a little poster that's just real goofy, but kind of a fun little thing. The whole enchilada itself, if I can get it out of the packaging, is a knife sharpener designed to go with you. So that's closed, slide it open, opens like that. And you have a leather strap and a 600 grit diamond stone on the other side. So you can maintain your edge, excuse me, wherever you are. If you know somebody in your life who uses knives and they don't own a strap, get them a strap. Doesn't have to be mine, but these things will keep your edge super sharp for a long time. These are $35 or $38 for the like different color configurations, and these are in stock right now. But just a great thing that you can actually keep on you. A lot of the knife sharpeners in the market are larger, so you can't really like, you know, put them in a pocket. But this one is so small that you can put it in a pocket. So yeah, that's a little pitch. Not all of the things in this video are going to be things that we make. These just happen to be, you know, more affordable. So I put them kind of at the front. Okay, so that was the whole enchilada knife sharpener. Whoa. This one Next one is a clipper lighter. So, you know, lighters obviously very useful just in general. Fire starting, lighting candles, and the Bic is kind of like the ubiquitous lighter, but they're not refillable, which really stinks. So I found these, which is, it's basically like a different shape, but essentially the same as the Bic, but you can refill these, and that's super great. The flame is really nice on them, you know, nice soft flame. Just awesome. These are made in Spain as well, so not made in China, which is kind of nice. And then, okay, next one. This is pretty cool. So I got this pretty recently on a Black Friday sale, and I think it was like $16. I think it's gone up since then. I think it's around like 25 or something. But this is a Bic pen in titanium. So Flytanium makes these, and they make the body, and the insert is just a regular Bic, but the body is just one piece made out of titanium, and so cool. Like I mean, I'm not huge into pins. I'm definitely not a pin snob. I like the way that the Bic inserts right. You have to put a little pressure and it feels, I don't know, I like it. But the heft of this thing is really cool. I mean, it's like you've got that titanium. It feels really, this has been in my pocket since I bought it. And I usually write with a pencil, but this thing has been on me just because it's so satisfying to hold and to feel in your pocket. So it's also obviously more sturdy. If you are at an airport, you can still take this with you. But it just looks like a Bic pen. So that's really cool. Flytanium Bic pen. Okay, next one. I forget. I think the people who make this are Garage. I'll insert the name of this bag later on. But these are cool little USA made like pocket organizers. So, speaking of Bic lighters, there's a Bic lighter right there. But just has some pockets, keep your stuff. I'm not using this one currently because I'm trying out some other things. But this bag is super cool and, awesome little US company. Okay. And then the last one well, no, not the last one. Okay, so this is a bit of a sneak peek, another product that we are coming out with pretty soon. This is a spike. So it's S7 tool steel. The shaft goes all the way almost to the end of this little 3D printed handle. But this is a little small spike that's going to be more affordable. I'm pretty sure we're going to run these at $60. It comes with a TPU printed sheath, which is like a flexible filament, but it's like rubber. So if you print it thick, it's really rigid, but it has a little bit of compliance so that this thing will sit in there and it won't come out. There's a really nice retention on these after they break in. And it has a little hole for you if you want to carry it as a static line, carry this. So just, I don't know, a fun little thing. You can use it as a scribe. There's the way that I sharpened the tip gives you a couple edges so you can open boxes, and gives you a couple edges on there, which is kind of cool. But really, I just made this because I thought it'd be fun. So it's going to come in a bunch of different colors. This is the Flat Dark Earth filament. And then we did something kind of clever with the our logo on here. So there's the eyes on one side and the tongue on the other. So if you rotate it, see if the camera will get this. If you rotate it, you kind of get the full logo there. And then this part right here is textured. So you get a little bit grippy on there. And it's not a full grip, but you don't need a full grip because there's no blade, until the very tip. So try to make this thing really compact, but usable at the same time. I don't have a name for this yet. So if you think of a name, drop one in the comments, or maybe I have one already. I'm not sure. Okay, moving on with EDC gear. This is, I'm gonna move some of this stuff. This is a bag I carry in my backpack. Has a couple different things. This is the jack. This is our pry tool, scraper, flathead screwdriver. These aren't in stock. They won't be in stock before Christmas, but Those are super handy for, you know, if you need a little bit of leverage. Next one, which is become an essential in my everyday carry. I keep this bag, like I said, in my backpack, and I go pretty much everywhere with the backpack. But the KNIFEMAKER Cobra pliers, these things are a beast. These are the 6-inch, and I know a lot of people carry the 5-inch versions of these, but I like the 6-inch because you do a little bit more leverage, and these things can do things that like larger pliers can't. I mean, they're seriously super useful. Like the sharpness of the jaws are really nice, and the metal that they make this out of is sturdy stuff. I put a little bit of shock cord on mine so it's not opening up, you know, because those jaws can kind of mess stuff up if you have like softer stuff in here. Milwaukee fine tip Sharpie. That's a great thing to get people. This is a cheap little thing I picked up from Home Depot the other day, but I've been really enjoying it. It's a little screwdriver, and it has 2 ends. So on this end it has a small one. So you have a small Phillips and a small flathead, and on this end you have a larger Phillips and a larger flathead. But this thing is super tiny. It's like the size of a pin, and you know, if you don't need like a ton of leverage on stuff, sometimes you just need to like open up the, you know, the back of a little electronics thing to change the battery. This thing is really compact to have on you. In here we have a whole enchilada as well. This is a fun little pin. This is the polka pin, and it opens up like that and becomes a full pin. But these are just so nice because they get so compact. They're not very expensive either. That's a good one, just so people can have them, you know, have a pin on them, throw in their center console or whatever. Okay, the next one, this is like my little sewing kit. Most of the stuff in there isn't, it's all kind of custom stuff, but this is what I wanted to talk about. These little scissors are from Heritage. So they're USA made, and they come in a bunch of different like little shapes. So this one right here is the one that I like to keep in my sewing kit. It's a little bit thinner, you know, has a nice little action to it, but still thick enough to not to handle some pretty durable stuff. And then you have like the beast over here, which is like crazy thick, and I mean this will cut through leather and stuff, but it's still very compact. Nice thing about these is you can actually carry these on a plane. So if you have a sewing kit like that, or if you just want to carry like a nicer pair of scissors, like, you know, the ones on multi-tools typically aren't very good. If they're decent, they're not very thick, so they can twist when you're cutting something more serious. Having a quality pair of scissors that doesn't take up a bunch of room has been super nice. These aren't very expensive, USA made. Can't recommend these enough. So yeah, that's my little EDC bag. Next up, we have something pretty fun. So this is the Pocket Slingshot by August Originals. This one's in titanium. He makes them in G10 as well. This thing is so cool. It's like the most fun I've had in a while. And he gave me this, and it's really cool. I've gotten good enough with this in the shop, like launching little airsoft BBs. I've come so close to killing wasps in the shop, like within like half an inch. So I'm definitely not deadly with this thing with the wasps yet, but I'm getting there. I don't know if these are in stock, but August Originals is really crushing it when it comes to creative, fun, everyday carry stuff. If you don't follow him currently, go check him out. He's a good dude, and I mean, just the stuff that, I mean, he's like a crazy designer, and he's always coming up with really cool stuff. So I recommend you check them out and bug him if he doesn't have these to make some more so you can have one, because they're super cool. Next, for everyday carry, we have headphones. So I'm in the shop, you know, all day, every day, pretty much, and Bluetooth headphones have become an essential piece of my kit. The ones that I recommend the most are these. They're they're skull candy, but they partnered with Bose on these. So these are basically the Bose. They're like the ANC 360. These are fantastic. I mean, they fit so well in your ear. I mean, it just, like, I can seriously comfortably wear these for 12 hours. Like, and I don't get tired of wearing them. They have active noise canceling, hence the ANC. And I like the, you know, there's no like goofy UI about them either. And they last for a long time. That's been my biggest gripe with other headphones is like, you just, you know, if you're working a long day or you skip lunch or something, you don't have time to charge them during lunch, they're just going to go dead on you. But these last like a crazy amount of time. I don't know the specs, but I can count on one hand the times that these have gone dead while I'm actually wearing them. So sound quality is also fantastic. I'm not an audiophile, but I like to listen to music, and this one does a really good job all the way around. It has a bit bulkier case, which has never bothered me because I don't really keep the case in my pocket. It comes with a little like clip thing, which I've never like clipped on my, you know, pants or anything. But I think it's kind of a clever case too. I like the design of it. It's pretty fun. They're not very expensive either. So because whatever the Skull Candy like Bose partnership, they've gotten these to be a lot cheaper than the Bose. So yeah, highly recommend these. And then an honorable mention are the Nothing Ear. These are also pretty affordable and they're decent. You know, I think if you're like used to Apple AirPods, you might like these, but these don't have like as much like rubber stuff around the earpiece, so they don't stain my ears as well. So I have to adjust them more if I'm taking these like mountain biking or something like that. These have fallen out before, where these you could like get punched in the face and they won't fall out, sort of thing. But these are still nice, and I like the case. I like the clear case on these, and the headphones themselves are clear. They're just kind of a cool thing to look at. But honorable mention, definitely, if you know somebody who uses earbuds, these are a winner. Okay. This is kind of I should have done this with the corded section, but this is a little clip from Austere Manufacturing. So a US company, the guy who runs Austere Manufacturing is super cool. And if you're into manufacturing, he has like a podcast and stuff. So like definitely go check that out. But it's called Incremental. It's about like lean manufacturing and stuff. But he used to work for NASA and basically like is a big bike packer and stuff, and was really fed up with all the plastic clips on his bike packing gear giving like braking and stuff. So he designed this aluminum clip that, I mean, is just a beast for how small it is. It's super functional, super usable. It comes with, you can get different lengths of like webbing that it comes on. But I keep this in my backpack for strapping stuff down. You know, if you're hauling something, I mean, there's tie straps in the truck, but like sometimes you just need something small and really fast, and that's what this is. But I also wear this as a belt sometimes. I put a little elastic here to like keep the tail closed. But yeah, it doesn't slip, and it never binds. So I mean, there's some magic in that clip. But kind of a cool little thing, fun to have on you, but also really cool US company doing really cool stuff. Okay, next for EDC, we have notepads and writing instruments, or I guess one writing instrument, because I like the Write in the Rain pencil. So this has like, instead of like 0.7 lead, this one has 1.3 millimeter lead, which is super thick, and I like it because I break mechanical pencil lead way too much. I still break these, but it's a lot better, and it's nice. I like the quality of these. They're refillable. They sell like different eraser heads. So you can buy like the extra kits for these. The front on these is brass, The rest is plastic, and then there's a little bit of brass down here. So it's pretty like front heavy, but it has a nice feel to it. And I like the clip on these as well. And yeah, these have been my go-to pencils. I have a bunch of these just floating around because they're my favorite. But I wanted to talk about the Write in the Rain notepads as well. These are awesome. They come in different sizes, and I like having a couple different sizes because, you know, sometimes you want like something for going to the store. So you want to rip a page out and you want to use it as a little list. That's great for this small size. This bigger, this kind of medium size is really good for like your day-to-day like notes and stuff, keeping track of stuff. And then I really do like the big size. These are all full, by the way. Like these are a bunch of ideas that it's a really good brainstorming like thing because you have a lot of room, but the paper's really nice and it's not, if it gets wet, it doesn't matter because it's right in the rain. So yeah, I like the big size, but all these sizes have a place. An honorable mention is the field notes. It's just too small for me normally. Like I write a little bit bigger and my writing's really messy. So I just need a little bit more room than that. So this kind of replaced this size for me. But you may know somebody that really likes the field notes. So yeah, those are great little gifts because they come in a bunch of different colors and they're just nice to have. This just shut off on me. Why? Okay, next we have, this is actually a gift from my wife, and this has become my everyday like organizer. So this is a Paper Republic journal, and so it has this leather backing, and then there's like a little bit of elastic cord that keeps everything together. The cool thing about this is there's different inserts. So like this is a calendar. This is a little thing you can keep, like a hard back thing you can put loose papers in. And then they also have different like journal inserts. This is the dotted one, but it comes with like plain ones, comes with lined ones. And so whenever you fill it up, you can take it out, replace it with another one, but you still keep like the nice leather exterior. And you get a really cool patina on these. Like you can see this one's been pretty well loved, but I love the way it looks. She personalized it, has my name on it. These are super cool. And I guess a note on all the journals and pencils and pens is like, if there's a guy in your life who doesn't have something like this, it's a great thing to have. And I highly recommend, if you don't currently have something where you can just like brainstorm, write out ideas, write out thoughts, think through things, make pro-con lists, it's super valuable. And it's a great way to organize your thoughts. And just like, if you're not journaling, like you should do it because it seriously is kind of a game-changing thing, especially if you have ideas, goals, ambitions. These are great tools. Like they've become essential for me. I used to not, and now, like bunch of, you can lay out your timelines and stuff. So anyways, that's the Paper Republic journal. Awesome. This is like one of the most used everyday carry items on my list. Okay, moving on to tools. We're gonna first start with some scissors, because scissors are underrated tools. So these are, again, from the Heritage Company. These are great. I picked these up. I thought they were going to be smaller. I didn't look at the dimensions of them, but I actually love this size. So these are pretty hefty scissors, but have a really nice shape to them. So, yeah, I mean, I find myself using these a lot. These are another one. These are Craftsman, and Obviously super beefy, made for cutting like sheet metal and stuff. These are handy to have around because sometimes like you can cut kydex with these, but yeah, really nice because sometimes you don't realize that the scissor is the right tool for the job, and having one around, it's like, oh yeah, that is the right tool for the job. And then yeah, these are another heritage scissors that have a lot of leverage on them, which I think is cool. So again, like sturdy spines on these, they're not going to twist on you. These are well made. I don't think the Craftsman's made in the U.S., but these heritage scissors are made in the U.S. I encourage you to check them out because they're super cool. Okay, next one are these can't twist clamps. If you have somebody who likes to tinker in the shop, this is a great tool to get them. So they make these in a bunch of different sizes. This is the 2-inch one right here, but they're called can't twist clamps because they have these little rotating like jaws, I guess. And when you twist them closed, sorry, that noise is probably not great. They basically push like this so that your workpiece doesn't twist. Like a C-clamp, you're twisting from the bottom and that little pad can twist and your workpiece can rotate on you. This one doesn't have that problem, and these also like align with each other. So you get a really nice hold, and if you need something to be like precisely held together, these are a great way to do that without twisting everything and everything binding. So they make a really small one too, which I found handy. I have somehow lost all of mine, or maybe they've broken. I don't know. But this one goes in the heat treat oven all the time. That's why it has that coloration on it. But yeah, these hold up really well, and they're very handy. Okay, we have a couple odd ones for the rest of the tools, but stick with me because they're kind of cool. This one is a Ryobi fan. So obviously it's just a fan. But my grandma got this for me a long time ago, and it's proven incredibly useful. So it does take any of the Ryobi batteries, but you can plug an extension cord in this and just use it as like that too. These are super nice. I think they have a newer version of these as well with like a little bit more settings. This one just has high and low, but still super handy. It has a little hook so you can hang it, twist this around. Just really nice, especially if you're if you live in a hot climate, like we use this camping all the time. You know, it's a great one. This is a bit of a stretch for a lot of people, I know, but 3D printers have gotten super good and super inexpensive. This is just kind of a stand-in. This is the Prusa i3 Mark III. This is a more expensive printer. It's currently out of commission because I use the Prusa Minis over here. But you don't have to get a super fancy printer to get a really good, reliable printer. So the Prusa Minis, I love those. I recommend those all day long. They're about $500. And I can also recommend Bamboo Labs. That's a great way to get into it. I've recommended that to family and stuff. Those are like probably the most like user-friendly printers to ever exist. And sometimes you can get them for like 200, 300 bucks, which is like crazy for how good those printers are. But if you don't have a printer, or if you have ideas, or you have the desire to make things, but you don't currently have many tools, a 3D printer is an awesome way to jump in, because if you don't know CAD, it doesn't really matter. You can print stuff that other people have made and actually see the thing printing. These are just incredibly fun. So if you don't have a 3D printer, get one. If you're a knife maker and you don't have a 3D printer, get one. If you're a maker in any capacity and you don't have one, I don't care if it's leather working or metal working, get one of these. They will be useful. The amount of jigs and things, aside from products that I make on the 3D printers, the amount of jigs and guides that I've made with these, I mean, I can't even count all of them. This has been incredibly useful and incredibly fun. I can't emphasize that enough. So, yeah, I like the Prusa stuff. It's not made in China, and they're workhorses. So if that's appealing to you, then maybe look at Prusa. But Bamboo Labs is definitely a great option as well. As far as filament goes, I can recommend the 3D Fuel PLA is what you should start with if you haven't ever printed before. 3D Fuel, the filament is all made in the US. But they also make a PCTG, which is a little bit more difficult to print with, but is super tough. So anyways, if you're interested in 3D printing, look into those filaments, look into that brand, because they've really done well for me, and they have a lot of cool colors. Okay. Next, we have some multi-tools. So my grandfather gave me this years ago, and it's been super handy. Since I got the KNIFEMAKER pliers, I haven't really used the needle nose on these just because the KNIFEMAKERs are so much better. But these stay, in my truck, and it's super handy to just have some tools on you. The thing I like about this one, so this is the Leatherman Fuse, is all the tools lock. It's not, so you can't access anything from the outside. You can't access the knife from the outside like some other tools, but like the knife on it is generous, and like all the other tools, it locks in place, which is nice. So, and I don't think that one's super expensive either. So Leatherman Fuse, good way to go. The other one, I picked up this Leatherman Skeletool from a government overstock / TSA store. So I think this one was confiscated from somebody at TSA. It's clearly been used, but I like the Skeletool for how compact it is. It's like a lot of the other multi-tools are just a little bit big and heavy if you're trying to replace a pocket knife with it. This one has the knife on the exterior, and it has the pliers, and it has some Phillips and flatheads, which is what I use the multi-tool for the most. So has a little clip and a bottle opener on here too. I think that's a solid way to go. So if you have somebody in your life who, does a lot of things and doesn't have like a dedicated tool, or does, like the Leatherman Skeletool is a cool way to go. That one's made in the US as well. Okay. Next up, we have another kind of product sneak peek. And these are, so you've heard of dump trays, just a tray you can put a bunch of stuff in. These are diarrhea trays. So if you have a mess, you can use these trays. So these are made by us. And I originally made one, it's in the shop, but just made it for in the shop use. And I made like a quick and dirty vacuum mold out of plywood. And some people kind of thought it was funny and asked for those. So I thought I would spend some more time and actually put some energy into designing a better dump tray, something that I thought would be actually good as a product, because the other one it's not good enough to sell. But so these come in two sizes. This is the big mess. So that's like a larger dump tray. You can fit a full-size handgun, your wallet and keys. This can serve as like an EDC dump tray, like in your house. And then it also has a little groove on the outside, so you can put pens and stuff like that. And then this smaller one is the little squirt. So smaller size, but similar concept. And so this is like the regular tray version. This isn't released yet, but it will be released soon, hopefully before Christmas. And there's going to be two different options. So we'll definitely have the little squirt before Christmas, but maybe not the complete version of the big mess. So it comes in the tray only, which has the complete perimeter, and then it has the tray and the lid, which I think I've put a fair amount of energy into this. I wanted to have a simple mechanism to keep it closed, but then also store it when it's open. So when it's closed, those two grooves interlock, keep everything nice and tight, and you have a little bit of height here, so you can actually put some stuff in here, throw that in a bag, and it's not just floating around. And so you can use that tray as a tray in itself. There's two little sections if you have small parts. you can organize your little small parts in those two trays. Or if you want to just use the regular tray but keep the lid with it, these little tabs and that shock cord lock on, and you can keep your tray, your lid, so it's not just floating around in the ether, and use your little squirt like a regular tray. I think these are going to be cool for just general purpose. Like if I'm building like IKEA furniture, I bust one of these out just to keep all the little pieces organized so they're not disappearing in the carpet. But taking it to the range, putting your ammo in here, like there's a ton of uses for various size trays. So these are made out of 0.08 Kydex. So the same Kydex we use for our sheaths, a little bit thicker, and pretty rigid but super durable. So those are the diarrhea trays. I will have a lid eventually for the big mess, and this will also come in 2 different versions. And we're probably going to release different like inserts for these too. So if you wanted to put like a leather pad down here, we'll have those. But yeah, it's a bit of a sneak peek of a product that's not fully released yet. Those are the diarrhea trays. Okay, let's talk about blades. I am actually redoing this section because I talked too long about it the first time, but I'm going to quickly go through some of the models and talk about some cheaper ones that aren't mine that are actually available at the end of this, and some other brands that may actually have some stuff in stock, because right now we don't have any blades in stock. Okay, Schism Tomahawk, a little bit heavier duty. MIDI Tomahawk, super lightweight and fast. Beekeeper, full size, 1/8 inch. Beekeeper, thicker stock, 3/16 inch. Those are great for just general purpose stuff. Mini Beekeeper is my go-to everyday carry knife. I actually have like a deep dive on the design of this and an unboxing video of this. This is, we'll have more of these early next year. By the time this video released, I'll actually probably already have dropped the XL Horny Toads, which is, this one's a single edge, but we'll have them in both single edge and double edge. Basically the same handle as the regular Horny Toad, but longer blade. I'm actually been carrying one in my pocket, and it carries super nicely, actually. So a little bit longer blade, but I've been carrying that one in the pocket, and then when I need to use it more, I'll just clip it to my pocket. That's great. And this is the regular Horny Toad, so shorter blade, but same handle. Generous grip on this, grip in a bunch of different ways. And then we have the Nature Boy, which is more sleek, EDC friendly fixed blade. That one's great. Cuttlefish, skinning knife slash, like more tactical knife, depending on the grip on there. Let's see, Micro Beekeeper, great little 3-finger knife. We'll be doing some of these pretty shortly. This is an older one with the wrapped sheath. We have Gut Plug, which we will be releasing more of these next year. Yeah, collaboration with Worst Worldwide on this. Great little secondary knife. Okay, we have the Howler, which is my interpretation of a fighting fixed blade. There's a blog on this as well if you'd like to read more about that design. Let's see, we talked a little bit about this before, but this is the Jack. This is our pry tool. And then, let's see, we have a couple of negative zeros in here. That's our folding, our friction folding blade. These are just fun little, 3D printed scales, just a fun little knife to fidget with and throw in your pocket. And then this is one that a lot of people have asked about, and we do plan on redoing this model. This is the Nomad, small little, kind of EDC fixed blade, but we will be doing more of those. And let's see, so a lot of these knives will fit with the deep carry sheath. So if you have, like the Mini Beekeeper, the Nature Boy, and the regular Horny Toad all fit in the Mini Beekeeper deep carry sheath, which is a nice way to get it lower in your pocket, but still have really good access to it. So yeah, we'll have more of those deep carry sheaths too. If you're looking for a solid way to, comfortably carry a fixed blade every day, this is a great way. Kind of comes closer to like what it's like to carry a pocket knife in your pocket. That's a deep carry sheath. Okay, and then we have a couple. So if you wanted to get somebody like a nicer folding knife, this is the Benchmade 940. It's an Osborne design. It's such a classic knife. If you want to get somebody that's something that's a little bit nicer, that's available all the time, but has like some classy utilitarianism, you can't go wrong with this one. This has been a staple for a long time. Okay, there's a couple cheaper options in here. This is the Ford Peasant. So this is actually the knife that inspired the -0. And it's just a little injection molded handles, high carbon steel blade, friction folder. Super fun, really inexpensive, really fun knife to carry around. Then we have the Opinel. So this is kind of like the knife that Opinel is famous for. It comes in a bunch of different sizes. I don't remember which one this is, but has a nice like collar locking thing here. These are great knives. These are made in France. Yeah, I mean, you can't have too many of these. Just throw them in your car. Have them places. They're great for food prep and stuff too. Along with that, they make like dedicated paring knives. This one came from our kitchen. It's really nice to have just a higher quality paring knife. It's not from Walmart. This one, again, is made in France. But yeah, Opinel is making some cool stuff. This is the Mora knife. I feel like this is the Eldris, but I'm not sure. This is a little one I picked up from Smoky Mountain Knife Company. But a lot of the Mora, I'm just calling them Moras. They're made in Sweden. These are really good value for the money. Injection molded handles have some rubber on there, but the companion is like their main one. If you have somebody in your life that's like an outdoorsman who, likes knives, this is a really good option, really good value for money on these. Okay, so that's about it for, our knives. Again, we don't have anything in stock right now, or we may have some XL Beekeepers by the time this drops, but again, like we're doing knives in batches. So if you want to get somebody a knife, the gift card is a great option for them. So they can, they can have that money to spend on the website, and then whenever the knife drops, they can just go ahead and get it. And we'll have that in different price categories as well on the gift card. But I wanted to mention there's a bunch of other U.S. makers that are putting out great work that I thought I would just give a shout out here. If you're not following them, that you might consider. We have Compliance Edge, Schwartz Knives, so that's TJ Schwartz, and then Burnley Knives, which is Lucas Burnley. Those guys have a podcast called The Edge and Flow. Great podcast. Also, Compliance Edge, if you're a knife maker, he's putting out some great educational content as well on how to manufacture knives. Those three guys are doing a fantastic job of like knowledge transfer in that space. So if you're a knife maker and you're interested in like manufacturing stuff, all those guys are like experts and are super generous with sharing what they know. Okay, then we have Dagger and Knot, Wizard Forge, Auxiliary Manufacturing, One-Eyed Ghost, North Edge Tools, Knives by Nuge, Creeper Knives, Milmac Blades, Turner CNC, Villain Tool, and Dauntless Manufacturing. So there's just a couple, that I had on the top of my head. Cool U.S. makers that are doing cool things. If you're not following them, go check them out. Let's talk about flashlights. Okay, I have a bunch of flashlights here. All right, start off with my favorite little EDC light is the Streamlight MicroStream. These are fantastic little task lights. Surprisingly powerful, USB rechargeable, and the clip is super nice. You can clip it to your hat. Yeah, waterproof. These things are great. They come in 2 different colors, I think. Okay, those are great little EDC lights. The next that kind of falls into that same category is the Woobin G5. So this is pretty new to me, but I've been really liking the functionality of it. So it has this rotating head and a little like wheel. where you can adjust the brightness of this. And it gets pretty bright as well. And the clip rotates all the way around the side. So that's super handy. And then you also have a RGB light that you can change different colors. And this will go, there's a strobe mode too. I forget how to get into it, but yeah, kind of nice. The red is kind of nice if you need to preserve your night vision camping. All these 3 lights are really small and lightweight that I really like for camping and stuff like that too. You can hold, they're light enough you can hold them in your mouth, but you can also clip them to your shirt. Or this one especially, because it has that rotating head, you can clip it to your shirt right here. But the way I really like to carry these is on my hat, like on the side right here, because that gives you, it's not pulling your bill down, and it gives you a really nice like spread of the light. So if you wear a hat, that's the way to go. You can obviously go with a headlamp. This is the Black Diamond. I forget which one this is, but it's one of the cheaper ones. Just takes 3 AAA batteries. The thing I like about it is it has one button, and you hold it down, and it gets brighter and dimmer. And that UI is just super nice when you're fumbling around in the dark and you don't know, what's what. So I like that. I like the simplicity of all these lights. I will say the Woobin has this little sliding thing on the side where it's like if it's dark and you can't see and it's locked, you may not know that it's locked. That can be a little frustrating. Where the micro streams are just super easy. There's a button, and then if you like fast press it, you can go between the light setting and the really bright setting. Maybe. There you go. There's a bright setting. Those are great. The next we have the Woobin X4s. This is also pretty new to me, but this light has really impressed me. So it has the same little slidey thing on the side, which once you get used to, it makes a lot of sense. But if it's new to you and you're fumbling around in the dark, it could be a little bit too complicated. But if you push it all the way forward, there's a moonlight setting, and then this setting controls the front light, which gets up to 1500 lumens, which is pretty cool. It has this little back tail clicky, which gives you immediately 1500 lumens. That's kind of nice. I wouldn't consider this light tactical, but that is kind of a cool feature. If you're searching, you can use that as a momentary. Then it has this side light, and it also has this little wheel where you can adjust the brightness of all this stuff. That side light is super nice. And it also has a RGB that you can change the color of. This is a pretty feature-packed light for how small it is. I also really like the clip on this, and I would think that this one would be too heavy to do this, but I actually was able to, that's in the wrong setting. See, a little bit weird, but I was actually able to carry this like on my hat like that, and it doesn't bother me. This one does have a clip, you can clip it to your bill. It's a little heavy. It pulls my hat down. It's not enjoyable, but the side of your hat like that, where it's against your head, I found to work really nicely actually. So magnetic base on both of these Woobin lights. I think they're good for like utility lights because they have a lot of different settings and stuff. And the side feature on this one is kind of cool. Okay, next we have the NT1C Pro from Nitecore. This is a really simple light. So it unscrews and the battery is rechargeable. You just plug directly into the battery. This thing is waterproof. And then you have like a shrouded button, so you can't accidentally like push the button. You kind of have to go in there to push the button. But really simple UI on this as well. So you have your bright setting, and then you have your low setting, and it automatically comes on at the bright setting. But I don't know if you can see that. It has a really nice candela on this. It just stepped down. I haven't charged this battery, so that might be why. But because it's not hot yet. But really nice. I think it's like 1,000 lumens, and really nice candela for such a inexpensive light. So super simple, but still has some really nice punch and throw on that. Okay, next we have so this is like one that I would consider for like potential self-defense, just because it has that really nice high candela. So kind of cool, but really compact and lightweight. The next one we have is from Nitecore as well. It's the EDC 35. So this one was super interesting to me, and this one seems to do a really good job of combining a task light with a like self-defense kind of light. So it does have a manual lockout here, but I like how rigid. So unlike the Woobens, where this slidey thing is kind of loose, and you could definitely accidentally bump into a different setting, this lockout is just either locked or unlocked, and it's really rigid. So I don't think you're going to accidentally lock it out. And you do have a nice like shrouded tail clicky right here. But the battery on these is not removable. But the thing I like about them is, so you click it once all the way to turn it on, and you can cycle through the different settings. So you have like that moonlight mode, and then that's, I think, 1500 lumens. But the thing I like about this is if you hold the center, push it just halfway, you get like this long throw mode, which is I think 3000 lumens, and you get that really nice candela there. And then if you hold it all the way down, you get 5000 lumens, which is the lumen shield mode. So no matter what setting you're in terms of brightness, if you hold down that halfway setting, you're going to get that long punchy candela where you can still see the periphery. But if you hold it all the way down, if you mash that button, you're going to get that lumen shield, which is 5000 just all at once. And I think that is pretty cool. There's a couple different like LEDs in here. So you have that. One is like the clusters for the throw, and then the big one is for that high candela punch. But I mean, 5000 lumens, that's pretty crazy. And I think this thing's like $90, so pretty darn affordable for what it is. I like the size of it too. It's definitely manageable as a carry light. So the next one we have is my personal go-to for like self-defense, carrying at night sort of light. That's the Cloud Defensive MCH. So this is I forget the output numbers on this, but it's probably like 1000 or a little over 1000 lumens, but it has a super high candela. So you can see that hotspot is really nice for, you know, seeing really far, but also like blinding a subject if they're super close. So with the candela is really nice because you can control the situation around you by pointing it in a specific place. But I love how simple these are. Really well built, USA made. I have two of them. This one's my wife's. But yeah, so it's the Nitecore EDC 35 is about the same size as the Cloud Defensive and has a little bit more features. So this one only has one setting, the Cloud, which I like because I'm using it specifically for, you know, like at night, and I don't mind that it's only bright because it's nothing for me to mess up. But this one does have those different settings, so this is a little bit more useful for like a task light or like an everyday carry light. But you still get that, like, whatever setting you're in, if you want to punch it all the way, you get that that full lumen shield, which is cool. So anyways, flashlights, if you're not currently into flashlights, I recommend you get into them a little bit. And I recommend starting with like something small like the MicroStream, because, you know, your phone flashlight doesn't hold a candle to this. And they're super useful. I went to a Dallas Stars game pretty recently at American Airlines Center, and somebody like in the row in front of me had lost their phone or wallet or something under the seats, and they're trying to get it with their phone light, and they're just totally unsuccessful. So I handed them this, and they were quickly able to, you know, like look under the seats and find what they're looking for in that dark, you know, crowded arena. So yeah, and these, like, all of these flashlights go anywhere. You can get into stadiums with them. You can fly with them. Like even this one with the little switchback on here. I put the switchback on mostly because I walk my dog at night in the summers, and I can just hold on to it a little bit easier. It's not really like, I don't use the whole like flippy thing. I just use it as like a ring to hold on to a little bit better. But it looks pretty tactical, and nobody has ever questioned this in all the times that I've flown and all the times that I've gone to like different, sporting events or concerts at, stadiums. So flashlights, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna try to make this section a little bit short because obviously we're running super long on time here. But the next section are packs. And I just wanted to show you some of the packs that I really enjoy. This is the London Bridge Trading pack. And this basically replaced my JanSport. I wanted something that was built like a JanSport, but was way more durable. So this is made out of Cordura, just has 2 really big pockets in the front mesh pocket. And I'll say this mesh is really durable. I thought this was gonna like rip apart pretty easily. But this is like, I don't know what they use for this mesh. It's crazy strong. This is my everyday carry bags. This is what I take pretty much everywhere with me. Love this thing, super simple and super versatile. So you can put a little bit in here and it looks good, and you can put a lot in here and you can really stuff a lot in this. So I like that versatility of this pack. Next we have, usually this pack goes inside of that pack. But this is a sling bag that I carry in the summer. If I'm going to the grocery store or something and I'm wearing like athletic shorts, I'll put my gun in here, put my wallet, keys in here. This is from Paladin 33. It's a nice little, it's just a fanny pack. I wear it as a sling, but nice. It has a little weapon pocket in the back, but it's comfortable. Has some really nice organization in here. There's like zipper pockets and little sleeves in here. So cool little pack. And it's held together really well. So Paladin 33, that one's really nice. If you wanted a super simple fanny pack, the Kilo Tactical Prison Wallet is a great way to go. So this also has like a Velcro thing here. So if you're running like a plate carrier, you can run this as like a drop bag on that plate carrier and take the string thing off. So pretty cool. It also has webbing on the inside. This one's nice. If you just need to carry some small stuff, that's a really cool, simple, lightweight bag for that. Comes in a bunch of cool different camos too. The next one, this is really a purpose-built like chest pack for hiking. So this is the Hill People gear. I think it's called a chest pack. They make a couple different ones. This is a smaller one. I wish I would have gotten the larger one. So I'll probably get that eventually. But this is a great thing, and it unzips completely. So if you're backpacking or hiking in the woods, you can have this on your chest and rip it open like that and access your handgun really nicely. But if you're carrying a pack, it carries with the pack really nicely. So even if you take the pack off, you have your essentials in your little kit bag. That might be what it's called, the kit bag. But Hill People gear, really quality stuff. Go check them out. They have a bunch of different sizes and versions of this. They have higher, this has like Molly on the front and stuff, but they make like lower vis ones as well. Great, really well made pack. And I will say on the sling bag like pack thing for like summer carry, there's a company called 945 that I think makes one of the coolest like sling bags that kind of marries like, okay, not super tactical, a little bit low vis, but enough room to carry like a full-size handgun and get to it really, really fast. So go check those out. I like the XL version. I don't have one yet, but they make them like with holsters, or you can like just pair it with your own holster, and they have like a little Velcro like slip thing that it clips onto. I think that's pretty cool. So I think that's what I'm going to do this next summer and see how that goes, because I like the ability to like access the gun really fast, which is just one of the downsides with the if you're converting a fanny pack to that sort of carry. Just a little bit slower and not super ideal. Okay, next one we have is the recycled firefighter gear. I think this is the 24-hour pack. My wife actually picked this up at a thrift store, and I'm like the luckiest dude ever because it was like $7. But I haven't used this one a ton yet, but this one is super cool. I mean, black multicam on the outside, high-vis orange on the inside, really nice layout of pockets and stuff. You know, this one would be great for like flying if you just have to carry like a little bit of stuff with you. Or a great little EDC bag too. But I love the way that this opens all the way where you can properly get to all your stuff. So you can pack it like this, close it up like that, and not have to like reach in all the way from the top. This one will also fit like, there's a little pocket in the back that'll fit the GoRuck weights. So that's kind of my future plan for this, is to make it a like a rucking pack with those. Cause there's a couple of different GoRuck plates that'll fit in here. But well-made pack, I like it a lot. Haven't used it a whole lot, but it's super nice. Okay, this one, Osprey. This is the Osprey Daylight Plus. This is my wife's pack, but sometimes I carry this if we're just doing a little day hike. And this is a really nice little pack. I love all the stuff that Osprey does. They have this little like mesh thing on the back. Really well made, like ergonomic packs. So if you're looking for like something that you're going to be carrying for a long ways and you're going to be sweating in it and stuff, Osprey has a bunch of really good options for that. So I think they do a thoughtful design on how that's all laid out. Okay, and lastly for packs, we have the Patagonia duffel. This is the 55-liter black hole duffel, and this was a gift from a friend of mine, and this thing is so rad, like super well built, and you know, just a big old duffel bag, has this big pocket right here and a front pocket. I use this is my go-to for taking trips, whether it's like visiting family on the weekend or flying cross country for a bachelor party. I flew to Canada recently for a bachelor party, and this is what I took as my carry-on, and it has these backpack straps, which is great, and I just fit all my stuff in this one bag, and I was good to go. Yeah, great, super well built, like durable, has a bit of like waterproofness to it. If you need a duffel bag, this one is super versatile. So highly recommend the Patagonia duffels. Okay, now we're going to talk about some camping gear. First off, this is the Grail water bottle. So this is a water bottle. I think this is the ultralight version. They make a bigger version as well. But this is a water bottle with a built-in filter. So you go to your stream, you know, pick up some nice water, and then push this down. And on the inside, you have filtered water. This is super nice, and I think really superior to like some other filtration systems like the Sawyer Squeeze and like standalone filtration systems, because it's a water bottle itself. So like it doesn't take up any extra room in your pack. I mean, obviously it holds less water because the filter's in there, but this is super nice because you can just carry this thing. And I do kind of like the smaller version, because if you're backpacking and you have like other Nalgene's, other water bottles, you can just fill this up multiple times and pour that clean filtered water into your other water bottles. So this is super nice if you're in a place where you're like, you know, you don't want to get sick drinking the water. Or if there's like, if you're in Europe or something like that, and there's like, you know, water on the street that you can get, this is a really great option for that. Next, we have one of my favorite pieces of camping kit, which is these KNUCK chairs. So this is the like the ultralight version. This thing packs down into this little pack right here. This whole thing weighs like a pound. It's crazy. This is super super nice. I take this one on backpackers and stuff because it's so lightweight and compact. I mean, it's a pound. Like, I get it. It's like kind of heavy, but I tell you what, after like a full day of hiking on your feet and stuff, that thing is a lifesaver. It's so comfortable. But the one that my wife and I have gotten in more recent years is this one here. I'll post a link to this. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but this one, made out of sturdier stuff. You know, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm like 240. This totally takes my weight perfectly. That one I have to sit down kind of gingerly in. This one is like a lounger. Like there's room for like a pillow right here. Tell you what, like the most comfortable chair you'll ever sit in. Like, it's crazy. The way that this, you know, hugs your body and stuff. There's a couple pockets on the side. This is what it looks like when it's all packed down. So that's the exact same chair. We threw a little bit of climbing rope on there so we can, you know, sling it over your shoulder and stuff. This one is great for, like, we use these in the backyard too when we're having people over and we just need a couple extra chairs. These are super comfortable sitting by the campfire. And perfect for like concerts where they have like big lawns and stuff, because you can easily carry this with you and you have an incredibly comfortable like lounge chair with you. So those are the KNUCK chairs. They're a little pricey, and there's a lot of imitations of these chairs, but these are really well built. I mean, we've had these for years and they're holding up great. Like totally worth the money. Okay, next, as far as camping stuff goes, we have this. So this is an Anchor power bank, and I have a couple other Anchor products that have been really nice on the road. I forget which one this is exactly, but you have DC power right here, and then you have like regular plug. So if you have like a, you know, you can plug an extension cord into this, and this thing has been super nice. There's a little light right here. You know, I've been using it to charge the cameras while I'm filming this video. This thing is super nice. We'll actually use this like just on road trips, just because, you know, sometimes it's nice to, you can plug, like my wife can plug her laptop in, work from her hotspot, work on the road. I can do the same in my laptop. This thing is just super nice. It's pretty compact too. And like, obviously you can get bigger ones, but this one, this size, has proven to be super useful. And this smaller one looks like, you know, it's just a regular like battery pack, but the Anchor ones seem to hold a lot more charge and seem to be a lot more durable. We've had a lot of like just off-brand ones, and they've pretty much all broken. Or like you get one battery charge on your phone. This will charge your phone like, I don't know, at least 5 times. Like this, even this little one works really well. So I like to use the Anchor stuff because it's just, they seem to be higher quality. This is a little solar panel from Anchor, and you can charge your thing right here. Has a little plug. This is nice. When you're camping, you know, you can just plug your phone into this, plug a couple flashlights into this, recharge it while you're having some lunch on a picnic table. Super handy. I usually have this in my truck just as like an emergency kit too. You could totally take it on a backpacker. It's a little heavy. There may be some smaller ones that are better for backpacking, but I think this bridges the gap between like really big solar panels and compact solar panels really nicely. So yeah, that's super handy to have with you because, you know, if something happens, you still have comms, you still have a way to, you know, charge your flashlights and stuff like that. Okay, next for camping is this little silky saw. So this is the Pocket Boy. So this is a pretty compact one. They make this one in a couple different sizes, but these are awesome. They're pull blades, and they just rock it through wood. So these are great. These are great to have. Sometimes I carry this on the mountain bike trail. If there's like a downed tree or something like that, I can easily clear it with this. I mean, this will handle, you know, some larger trees than you would think. You can like saw them in half with this. You know, you could definitely cut up limbs and break down firewood and stuff like that too. Super handy. It being a pull saw means you have a lot of power and you can use this more efficiently than like kind of like a typical whatever saw, you know, like a push saw. Okay, so let's talk about lanterns. These are a couple Goal Zero lanterns that we have really enjoyed. We lost this one for a little while, this little one. And so we bought this one just to try it out. But this little one is probably what I would recommend the most. It super handy. You know, you can put it on the little stilts if you're working on a picnic table. You can light up one side and it'll get brighter and brighter, or you can do both sides. So if you're setting up your tent, you know, undoing your sleeping bag in the night, this is really nice. It also there's a little power bank right here, so you can use this as a power bank, and then the charging cable is like already with it, so you can just plug that into a little USB when you find one. But that's super handy, puts out some nice light. This is the larger version, and a little bit more expensive on this one, but this one definitely puts out more light. It's I don't think, oh yeah, it does. It does have the half thing, which is nice. So you can put it at the end of a picnic table and you're not like blinding everybody over there if you know, because you don't want to disturb other people in campsites and stuff. But yeah, same thing here. And this one also has like a little emergency light on it. So if you hit the top, you can kind of get that beacon. I don't know. And then I think the really cool thing about this one is you can charge it like this. So if you do run out of power, you have that little hand wind thing where you can charge on the go. You can see as you turn it, you can see the lights blinking right there. Yeah, really nice to have on the road because, you know, sometimes you just need some general light like these. And both these Goal Zeros throw off a lot of light, which is nice. The next thing for lighting is this little string light thing. So these come out. I don't know where the end is, but all twisted in here. You get the point. There's some string lights in there. You can hang it up like inside your tent or at your campsite. These are pretty nice. You can change the color on them. This has a solar panel right on top. So just kind of nice. Kind of sets the mood for a campsite. I don't think these are super expensive. This was a gift, but I'll put a link to these as well. They have a bunch of hooks on them. So here you go. String these out. So the built-in hooks make it really easy to just hang it on whatever you have, whether it's tree branches or like the internal like pockets and tabs in your tent. So that's the way we primarily use it, is like in the tent itself. But it's a fun little thing to have on a camp out. Okay, next up we have these. I think these are KNUCK binoculars. Yeah, KNUCK. We got these because they look a little bit cooler than some of the other ones, but they actually have some pretty nice glass. So this is the 10-32, and I'd recommend these. They're nice and grippy. They make a monocular for these also, but if you're in the outdoors, it's just nice because you can observe wildlife from farther away, and yeah, it's cool. good little quality binoculars. I like the 10 power. It's a good, it's not crazy powerful, but it is definitely enough to like zoom in on some birds way far away. So those are cool. The KNUCK binoculars. And then we have a couple of stove like pots, couple of cookware options. This is my favorite. So this is the GSI, let's see, the Halu Light Micro Dualist. But I really like the way that they do the, I have a little, that's not included, but I think this comes with a bunch of stuff in it, but we usually just keep like a cup or something in there. And this just works really well. This is anodized aluminum and has a little plastic lid. But I really like the way that they did the handle on this because it's really solid, has a silicone grip on it. There's a little strainer in the lid, but when you're all done, you can pull that and it closes up really nicely. So you can keep like we'll usually put like our propane stove in here. You could even put, if you have a small propane thing, you could put the propane in here as well and have it all contained in there nicely. The bag that it comes in is also waterproof, so you could put water in here and use that to like wash dishes and stuff. Just a really simple, like we always go to, we've had some more complex ones, but that's kind of our go-to. Another one that's has like a little bit more stuff in it, but actually found this to be really useful. This is the SHEATH Summit. So this is silicone, pops up like that, has an aluminum base. This is nice because that's pretty large. So if you're cooking for a couple people and you need to, cook up some rice or, I don't know, whatever you're cooking. But it comes with a bunch of bowls and cups that all pack down really, really flat. The nice thing with this one is how it packs down. Because it packs down so flat, you can store it a lot easier than for how big this pot is. If it were like a hard-sided pot, it would be massive. But because it collapses like that, it can fold down really small. So those are kind of our go-to cookware on campouts. Kind of camping related, kind of not, is the bleed control kit from North American Rescue. This is nice. It's a sealed package with an easy rip, perforation on it. But there's like shears and tourniquets and gauze, and there's probably like an Israeli bandage and stuff in here. Emergency blanket. This is a really nice thing to just have in your car. So we keep these in every car that we have. Just nice, it's like if you come across, it's a bleed control kit for yourself, or if you come across an injury on the road, you can use this. Camping, if you're using knives and stuff, it's just good thing to have nearby. We have these in the shop too. Kind of better safe than sorry. And this is a really good, like, if you go buy this from North American Rescue. Don't be careful buying like emergency stuff on Amazon because there's a lot of like knockoffs and stuff like that. But I'd recommend you buy it directly from the company and you're getting like the real deal. Because it's like knockoff tourniquets and stuff like that, and that's just not even worth risking it. Your tourniquet breaking and dying because you got some cheap knockoff instead of like a real cat tourniquet. Okay, so a couple last ones, a couple fun ones. This is a glow-in-the-dark Frisbee, and I bought this, and my wife thought I was silly for having it, but it's great because you can charge it up, just have your flashlight on you, charge it up, and, you can have some pretty quiet fun even after the sun goes down with this. This is a Discraft Night Glow, 175 gram, sorry, not grain. Yeah, so it's like quality, Frisbee you can actually use, but totally glow in the dark. This, you can't really see it well now, but it glows nicely at the nighttime. Okay, and then the last one is this. I forget what brand this is, but I think I got this from Walmart. So it's a Bara brand, and this is the 1866. So obviously it's like made to look like a Henry rifle. So this is BB gun and pellet gun. And this thing we got this to kill mice in the backyard, but this thing lives with me at the shop. I set up a target and just plink when I have the chance. So you load BBs on this side and it'll hold a ton. It'll hold like maybe like 30 or so BBs, maybe more than that. But you can like single load pellets as well. And this thing is a tack driver with the pellets, but it's pretty accurate with the BBs as well. The thing I like about this one is its pump, and you can go anywhere between 1 to 10 pumps. And this thing will like, I mean, it goes. It's pretty powerful. This is the safety right here. So that's fire. That's safe. I like the action of this. So you pull this back, the BB like automatically loads. There's a little magnet right there where it loads. Push that forward, and then you can give it. If I'm plinking, I'll probably just do 2 pumps, but you can just probably pretty loud. But or you can go all the way up to 10 if you're trying to like push some distance with a pellet. And this thing just loads of fun. It looks super cool. I love the mechanics of it, and yeah, like the sights are like all the way. It's it's pretty cheap. It's not like a super well made thing, but surprisingly accurate and reliable for just being like a Walmart kind of spur of the moment pickup. So anyways, I love the look of it. It's way cooler than some of like the super synthetic, like goofy looking ones. But this is like what the Red Ryder should be, basically. This is like the Red Ryder on steroids. It'll do some pretty serious FPS. So if you want a BB gun, I recommend this one. Now we're on to clothes. I'm going to be short here because, there's a lot of different clothes out there, but I have a couple recommendations. If you're into barefoot shoes, I have a couple recommendations for you. The Limbs Boulder boots. These are like the OG ones, but they have some like more rubberized soles now. Those are a great option. Super comfortable, super versatile. Limbs Boulder. These are the Zero. I forget what model these are, but these are by Zero. These are the waterproof version of this shoe. These are like really nice. These are kind of like my travel shoe, just like a good general purpose shoe with, not a crazy goofy toe box. So they don't look like barefoot shoes, but grippy soles. These have held up really well to the abuse, and the waterproof I've actually liked. So I was on a bachelor party in Canada, and we went golfing, and it was wet, and everybody else's feet were wet but mine, which was super nice. So the waterproof feature of this actually comes in handy a lot. I like those a lot. Okay, for shorts in the summer, basically my exclusive shorts, I have these in a couple of different patterns. The Tack Hunt Fish athletic shorts, these are great. I mean, lightweight, they made them right, and they last a long time. Like I only have 2 pair of these, and I alternate them in the summer, excuse me, and they've held up really well to all the abuse. So Tack Hunt Fish. Okay, if you want like a little bit of a nicer shirt that still like feels really nice, poncho. We picked this one up at a thrift store actually, but super lucky find. This one's a pearl snap. Really, I mean, it's all wrinkly now. I need to, like dry it. But this one is nice if you need to be a little bit classier, going to date night or something like that, but still really comfortable and a little bit of stretch to it. I like these. I can move around in them. And that's my biggest gripe with a lot of like dress clothes is like they're just so stiff that I can't, like they're not comfortable. And for the Texas heat, this material works really well. So poncho, they're doing some cool stuff. Okay, pants. These are one of my recommendations. These are the Origin Delta 68. These are like a stretch blue jean. They're like a lighter weight blue jean too. So if you're in like a warmer climate, these work pretty well. They're comfortable. I like the way I've worn these a lot. These like are kind of they're in the rotation for winter here in Texas. So yeah, Origin, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. USA made. Check them out. A couple hats. So Sendero is the one on my head. They're actually headquartered in Waco, so that's rad. Then we have Howler, and Howler and Sendero both have a bunch of really cool designs. If you know somebody who likes hats, basically any one of their designs works pretty well. They have something for everybody, I think. Okay, this is kind of a cool one. I'll post the brand of this, but this is a USA made wool hat, and they do a bunch of different patterns and stuff. The only gripe I have is they use either like a fake leather or like a coated leather on the back, and it's kind of peeling. But other than that, this is a cool hat. It's not actually super hot like you would think it would be, but I like the burrow. It's kind of like old school baseball hat, has a really wide bill. So those are cool. I'll post, just look down in the description, I'll post what company this is. Okay, and then finally, this is the hoodie that I wear most winter. It's really, really great. It's by Blanks by 13, also USA made. Origin also makes some really good hoodies. Some of my family has those. They're really nice. But this one, like the material just lasts. It looks really nice for a really long time. Like I've worn this for a couple years now, and it looks still brand new. So like if you go to a restaurant after work or something, just like blow yourself off, it actually looks like a pretty nice hoodie. So yeah, Blanks by 13 has a nice hood. I love the way this one fits. Next thing on the clothes are these Blade Tech Next Belt ratchet belts. These are fantastic. I'm wearing one right now. This is another one. You cut them to length. So like you just buy them and then cut them to whatever. It's all marked and stuff. But having the ratchet feature is super nice. If you're going from not carrying a gun to carrying a gun, or like not eating to after dinner, belly full, it's really nice to have that adjustment, and it locks in place. It's a nice rigid belt without being like too rigid. I think they just kind of nailed it on these belts. So that's a great everyday carry item. Okay, now let's do some stuff for the ladies. This is, I had my wife kind of go pick out some things that she thought were cool that, she uses all the time. So one of them is this little Ryobi fan. This thing is fantastic. It has a little clip on it so you can attach it to stuff, but 2 settings. We take this one to like weddings and stuff if it's going to be hot, and like this, everybody thinks this is cool. These are super nice, and the form factor is right. So it's small enough to like not be super, like you wouldn't want to carry like this one with you, like that's a little much, but this one, you can hold in your hand. It's a little bit less obnoxious, and but it's still super useful. So you could totally use these in the shop too, but they're a little bit nicer for like when you need something that's a little more subtle. Okay, next we have some bags. She really likes these base bags. So this is like a sling bag. She has this in a couple colors, and simple, but it fits really nicely. Has this little paracord thing that you could use as a strap itself, or you can take it off. But she likes those base bags. These Patagonia like organizing bags are really well made. So they're made like the duffel bag. So they're super durable. They have a bunch of little like attachments on the outside. They're just made well. Have internal pockets, so if you're traveling with makeup and stuff, these are great. I mean, honestly, like for guys too, if you got these in like a guy's color, these are great toiletry bags. They're gonna last for a really long time, and they look really cool. Okay. And then, okay, sorry, I just found it. Lastly, we have a couple things from Portland Leather. So this is a wallet, just nice, purse, nice leather purse from Portland Leather. And this is my wife's wallet. She took all this stuff out, but USA made leather goods at some really nice prices for how high quality they are. But it's real full grain leather on these. It's not the genuine leather that like peels and has just like fabric underneath. This is full grain leather. Smells nice. Patinas really nicely. Just been impressed with their stuff. And she really likes the this particular one, this little wallet that has just like the button on it. So it expands or gets smaller. So for women, those are great. They have some stuff for men too. They have like laptop sleeves and stuff like that as well. But yeah, nice USA made company. Okay, last one for the ladies is this little like electric lighter thing. Just a super cheap one, but the length on it is super nice. And my wife lights all the candles in her house with this. This is by Reedy. I don't know, just some Amazon brand. I'll link this below. But yeah, super handy for lighting candles and stuff. Okay, lastly, I want to talk about games. So there's a couple games. These are all, the ones I have in front of me are all puzzle games. No, not, these two are puzzle games. Okay, these are really good recommendations. I really like the puzzle ones myself. So Blockus is one. This one has super simple rules, and it's a lot of fun. You can play it with like 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people, or you can team up and do more than 4 as well. This is like the base version. They have like a second version too that's basically the same thing, just different shapes. Those are a ton of fun. That's an addicting game. Okay, second kind of puzzle game is Project L. This one has more rules, and it's like, it's a little bit intense when you first learn it, but it's actually really simple. So the gameplay is really fun, and you're kind of like, there's a lot of like strategy, but it's all like your own strategy. So it's nice to play with other people because it's competitive, but you can't like screw other people over necessarily. So it's, you know, kind of family friendly in that way. But once you get over the initial hurdle of like learning the rules, this game is a ton of fun. There's expansion packs to this as well. There's like a ghost piece mode. Project L has quickly become like my family's and extended family's favorite game. So highly recommend that one. It's really well done too, like aesthetically. It's a lot of fun. Okay, and lastly, we have Hues and Cues. This is one that's very like, there's a lot of laughs in this game because you basically lay out this huge board of like colors. It's like all these different color squares, and you get a card that shows you what color, and you have to basically make people guess what color you have on your card without actually saying like a color. So you can say like papaya or like, you know, fire engine or something like that. But it's a lot of fun because it's like, it's you know, people's perception of colors, and it's very interactive, I guess I should say. So Hues and Cues, that's always a fun one, and super entertaining because you have to be creative with the words you come up with. And so the last one, I don't have it here, but it's called Happy Salmon, and that's definitely like an active game where you have to match what cards. So there's like 4 different like basically emotes that you do. So there's like salmon, there's like a high five, there's like a rotate, and you play it completely silent, but you all stand up and you have to like match. So you have a stack of cards, and you basically like, you flip them, and whatever card you have to do the motion. You have to find somebody else in the room who's also doing that motion, and then swap with them or like high five them, and then you get rid of that card. So it's the first one to empty their stack, basically. So really simple game, but very active and a lot of fun. If you play it around like a coffee table, you stand up and just do it in your living room. That's a pretty fun one too. So, okay. I know this video is crazy long. I hope that you got some good ideas from this video. And I'm going to try and timestamp everything pretty well. But yeah, if you have any questions, I'm going to try and link everything below. But if you have any questions or recommendations, hit me in the comments, and have a Merry Christmas. Have a good rest of the year. Peace.